So, Lone Rider here, and I want to do sort of a follow-up on this sword. This is a Fetter, which is a practice long sword, and this particular one is made by Purple Heart Armory. See the little logo on the blade there. This is their heavier model, and it's held up very well. I used it a couple times at the fencing club while I was still going, and I've used it for solo stuff and against lapel ever since. And at the club, it went up against things like, in practice, against things like Castile Armories and Regagnes, one Albion blunt. And there's no edge damage to speak of. A few scratches, but no nicks. The blade is still nice and true. Got that rolled tip for safety. Nice big cross guard, a little larger than some, but it's got a long grip, and cross guards protect by angulation. So the longer the grip is, the longer the crossguard needs to be to protect that lowermost hand. The only problem I really have with this is the pommel. Everything else is held up very solidly. It's a threaded construction, and unique to this one, they have a lock nut which keeps the threaded pommel from getting loose. The whole pommel threads on, and then you have this recessed nut with an Allen head. Now the problem is the threads on that recessed nut are worn. Threads on the tang are fine, but that nut no longer tightens very well. And I guess I could just try and find another Allen nut that has the same threading and replace it. You know, for now, I mean, the pommel still tightens. It's still solid. But other than that, it's a fine, functional, solid sword. A traditional threaded pommel without a lock nut is relatively normal. It's usually either threaded or peened. This double threaded with the lock nut construction is unusual, so even just with the threaded pommel without the lock nut really tightening down a little bit much, it's still fine. Now overall, I'm still very happy with this. It's a nice solid sword. The pommel is still solid, the grip is still intact, the crossguard has no wiggle, the blade is still true. And the fact that the little lock nut on there, you know, has lost its function, doesn't inhibit it in any way. It's just a little disappointing that it did so, but the sword is still good, and so you know, I would heartily recommend one of these if you're looking for a budget Fetter. You know, it's cheaper than a Regagnes, and it holds up pretty good. So there you go. Lone Rider